my team has certain communications with the White House. Let me just be clear. They had nothing to do with this review. They had no oversight over this review. They did not tell this department how to do our review, what to look for, what to redact, what to not redact.
The DOJ says all the documents were released. Well, does that include all the co-conspirator memos? All the corporate protection memos? There are 10 co-conspirators in this new tranche of documents. Is every one of those 10 included? And if not, why not? They say they collected 6 million pages, but they're only releasing 3. What happened to the other 3 million? Has every document that mentions the word Trump been released? Yes or no?
Well, there are a lot in there in the new dump of Epstein files, documents today. The release today, more than 3 million pages of documents, more than 2,000 videos, 180,000 images. A lot of criticism about the process here, what is out, what's not, what was pulled back. There are mentions of Donald Trump in these new documents, allegations, and the DOJ pointing out that they are not proven and put a note there. Let's bring in our panel. Josh Kraushaar is a Fox News radio political analyst, Democratic campaign consultant Kevin Walling, and Fox News contributor Molly Hemingway. There's a lot of criticism, Molly, about how it's happened, how the releases happened, how the DOJ has handled it. As far as the allegations in there, there are some that are very eyebrow-raising, but they are...
So I'm going to stop this and let you know. Half of the allegations that are in these Epstein files, they come from emails or either tips that were called in or emails that were sent in for those people. So when you have anything related to Epstein that came to the federal government, it becomes part of that file and they have to release it. But my problem wasn't with them releasing it. To me, it was how it was done.
Overnight, the survivors calling on 2 New York judges to provide emergency relief and shut down the Epstein Files website immediately after a number of them had their identities exposed. Writing, DOJ committed what may be the single most egregious violation of victim privacy in one day in United States history. DOJ officials say they work to correct any mistakes when they become known.
Every time we hear from a victim or their lawyer that they believe that their name was not properly redacted, we immediately rectify that.
But the emergency request includes this quote from a person whose name has never been divulged before, saying, "I've never come forward. I'm now being harassed by the media and others. This is devastating to my life."
Yeah, I think the way that they did this, they could have did it better. They really didn't do a good job with this.
It's also raising serious questions about why Jeffrey Epstein was given such leniency after investigators initially uncovered potentially breathtaking criminal act.
Now, another thing also, you got to realize, I realized that this could actually be the way that this was supposed to come out. Like the level of chaos around how the Epstein files dropped, this is the way it should be. Like, I feel like they did this purposely to cause this level of chaos and disgrace for the administration, because they push, and this could have been done when Biden was in office, but it wasn't done when Biden was in office. So they wait till now to actually do it. Okay. And they push for it. They knew exactly what was in here. Biden knew exactly what was in it. All these politicians knew, who had access to this file, knew what was in the Epstein files. So if they wanted to use anything that's a disgrace in there to cripple Trump, they could have did that when he was running against a Biden, but they didn't do it. Because to me, this is more of an attack or hit against the people that are victims. And I'm trying to figure out, why would they actually do it? Because you had a bunch of people out here screaming the Epstein files and we got to get the Epstein files. Now you get it because it's not prepared, and it's no way can you turn around, and don't even think the federal government is like a corporation that has higher level technology where you can ride the things through, and then they black. I don't believe they're even there where they can use AI to omit certain specific words, which that's a great idea. Somebody thinking about it, because that can be as simple as a prompt that's done. But at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt anybody but the victims. It doesn't. And what it does is for the people like the Bill Clintons, what's the other guy's name? Bill Gates, what does this do to them? They a slap on the wrist. That's it.
Activity.
It is just this incredible, deep, visceral level of frustration and disappointment and sadness and grief.
Released for the first time, the original prosecution memo from a DOJ lawyer in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Miami in 2007, showing that federal authorities had uncovered evidence pointing to the broad scale and depravity of Epstein's molestation and exploitation of girls and young women. According to the memo, FBI agents discovered that Epstein arranged for massage appointments for girls and women ranging in age from 14 to 23 years old, with victims receiving a finder's fee of $200 if they recruited other girls. The memo goes on to warn that Epstein represented a continued danger to the community based on his continued enticement of underage girls. Federal prosecutors initially...
All this is not new stuff. Like, everybody knew this. What they were searching for is Trump. They wanted to find out or really put it out there for Trump. But in the course of doing this, they just didn't think about anybody else but getting Donald Trump. And that's my opinion. I really feel they didn't think about anybody else but getting Donald Trump. And in that hot pursuit to get Donald Trump, you end up dragging people that are and making them victims to this. You end up making them all victims. Their names out there, pictures out there. You already know that, what was his, Prince Charles, one of them? You already are dealing with, he got his title stripped from him. But look, they know what they did wrong. They know. They know. And now you make more victims of the victims. I agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene on this point. I really do. Because some people don't want to keep living that trauma or going back and revisiting it. And for everybody else, all the masses, somewhere out there, somebody's pulling the lever and telling you that this is good. Like, we need to find out what's in it. Bro, all these people know what's in it. They've seen it already.
He wanted to charge Epstein with at least 60 felony counts. But in the end, Epstein was offered a deal where he served only 13 months of an 18-month prison sentence on Florida state charges, even allowed to work in his office during weekdays. President Trump's name comes up thousands of times in the Epstein files, mostly in news articles, but also in emails written by Epstein himself. The newly released files also include records of unverified tips to investigators, including some uncorroborated information pertaining.
And that's where the unverified tips, that's where the stuff, that's where they got Jay-Z at. That's the Jay play right there. Because Jay-Z and Pusha T showed up in a tip that came in about Epstein and Harvey Wine. Now, all of a sudden, about Harvey, all of a sudden, he's associated. Yeah, this is associated. So, to me, this is horrible. And do I believe the thing about Jay? I don't really believe the thing about Jay. Like, I don't know. Jay's 94 Jay being in a group with Pusha T and Harvey Weinstein, right? At Epstein's Island or Epstein's, and forcibly, but this is the thing. One thing I've learned, don't jump down my throat real fast. A lot of this stuff that seems impossible sometimes is possible. And I know you dealing with, and I'm not trying to deal in conspiracy theorists like Candace Owens. Bro, I'm telling you, I'm not. And no hit to Candace. She does a great job in what she does. I guess she feels, however she feels. And I try not to, but the image of that being something that took place in 94, it's a little far-fetched, but then if you sit back and you look at a lot of the allegations that are already out there concerning Jay, the fact that he ran with Puff and how he did, but they got enough time to dissect these files. The worst part about this is that the victims are going to be victimized over and over again because they never did it right. They didn't do it right the first time.
To Trump and other high-profile individuals. The two men had a falling out, and the president says he cut off contact with Epstein decades ago. DOJ officials have said the allegations regarding President Trump are false and do not come from credible sources. The new documents are also placing even more scrutiny on men who we've known spent time with Epstein. Among the thousands of new photos released, these never-before-seen images of former Prince Andrew, who was stripped of his royal titles last year over his relationship with Epstein. Now seen here, crouched over a young woman, her face redacted, the date and context of the interaction unclear. Representatives for Andrew have not responded to a request for comment, but now the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is calling for Andrew to testify before Congress.
So if he got his title stripped and you see him hanging out over somebody in the picture, it's fair to assume that something happened and now we can stop saying that he's innocent. It's just a matter of how deep and how dark it actually goes.
Epstein was freed in 2009, and the newly released documents show he continued to communicate with some of the most powerful men in the world. The newly released documents show in 2012 Epstein emailing tech billionaire Elon Musk, allegedly discussing plans for Musk to visit Epstein's private island in the Caribbean. In one email, it appears Musk asked, quote, "What day night will be the wildest party on your island?" Musk says he never went to the island, and this weekend said he has long advocated for the release of files. Epstein had been cozying up to some of the most influential men on the planet since the 1990s. All have denied any wrongdoing and any knowledge of crimes or Epstein targeting children. So much collateral damage to so many, and it's becoming clear that...
And that's it. It's a lot of collateral damage because people wanted to actually have it out. Now, you got people also, this list is crazy. You also got this cat up here.
This week on Truth Bomb Consequences Edition, I don't know what is more, amusing or disturbing or any other adjective. The news about Microsoft founder Bill Gates or the news about failed CNN host Don Lemon. Let's start with Bill Gates, shall we? The tech zillionaire and vaccine enthusiast, seen here with public health supremo Anthony Fauci. Gates' name was mentioned in the latest Department of Justice drop of Jeffrey Epstein emails. And guess what, folks? It seems that back in 2013, Epstein wrote an email to himself in what appears to have been a file note about an argument he says he had with Gates, alleging that not only did Gates engage in sex with Russian girls, giving them the jab, as it were, but that he also contracted an STD and asked for antibiotics he could surreptitiously give to his wife, Melinda.
So when I look at this, the only problem I have is that Epstein wrote the email to himself. That's the biggest problem. Epstein wrote the email to himself about something that Bill Gates did and what took place. This file has so much stuff in it, man. It's no clear point to say that this person did this and this person did. It's so much speculation. Now we're thrust into a different level of conspiracy. A different level of conspiracy, what it meant, it didn't mean. We know less now than we knew before. If anything, the things we do know now that we didn't know before, I think is more detrimental to the people that were involved than them. See, these guys got bread, bro. You got to realize they got bread. So to me, making things disappear or suppressing things, that's not a brand new thing. It's not a brand new thing. It's not a brand new thing at all. So Bill Gates showing up it's just the way that it's done. And the problem is a lot of the stuff that's popping up, it's not in context, except for the thing with Andrew. Prince Andrew, clear out. I mean, we all know that. Bill Clinton, that joker need to freaking keep running.
Congratulations.
That
well
nigga
done.
need to keep running. Him and Hillary decided they wasn't going to show up for the subpoena. Bill need to keep running. See, I keep saying this. Anytime another man got a picture of you hanging in his toilet, in his bathroom, worse than that, if he got a picture of you in a dress with pearl earrings on or anything like that, in any type of outfit that's not you as a man in 4 pants, and even if they got that, if he got that with your shirt off, if a grown man got any type of image of you, period, okay, period, point blank, something went down. You done did something to him. He won something on you. You about that life. You a freak. You probably Diddy level freak. Who knows? Because it's something. Come on. And Bill Clinton know it. So he avoided that subpoena. He avoided it. His truth is fact there. But all these other things that are tied into this file so far, it's been introduced in a out of context. It's so circumstantial. It's like Epstein wrote himself a letter and it said an email and it said this. I believe, this is my theory. I believe because he was trained in espionage, and I do believe what part of Candace Owens' argument when it comes to what type of person Epstein was. Espionage, for example. Because he was trained in that level of espionage, whether he worked for the Mossad, he definitely had a money backer. We can't deny that. He definitely had it. He knew how to present information and how to manipulate circumstances, even that I believe to the point that people will be scratching their heads after he still died. Because it's not about the truth, it's about what you can prove. Oh, and how do you prove it? You create some type of trail and you tie things together for people to say this is a strain of truth. You don't get billions of dollars like him out of nowhere. You don't. So Bill Gates being involved in it, and maybe it's just me. Some people may feel different. They may feel that, but it's nothing solid connecting him.
Because, well, apparently the world's most famous software engineer wasn't taking enough precautions against viruses. Now, again, these are all allegations from Jeffrey Epstein, someone who might be considered an unreliable witness, and there are reports that Epstein had drafted the emails on behalf of one of Gates's aggrieved employees. And the Gates Foundation, of course, we have to say this, had issued a statement saying that the claims in these emails are, quote, absurd and false. But I guess it's just a funny coincidence, then, that in this very same year, 2013, when all this was alleged to have gone down, that Bill Gates offered a prize of $100,000 to whomever could invent a so-called super condom. And
yo, wrong about, see? They sacrifice and eat their own. Look at the CNN. Gates wants geeks to build better condoms. 2023. So was it 2020? They eat their own. Oh my gosh, bro.
By the way, he never paid off that bet. But in 2021, he did write a check for billions of dollars to his now ex-wife Belinda, who left him in part because of his ties to Epstein. Funny that, but not as funny, frankly, as the FAFO comeuppance being experienced by CNN has been.
We'll talk about Bill Lemonade in a little bit. Birds of a feather flock together. That's all I can say about that. And true, it seems so far off that Bill Gates would actually be involved in that. But one thing I do realize is true. When you get nerd boys money, and we see it from Elon, they just spaz out. They just spaz out when you give nerd. When you take the guy who was in school and they looked at him as the nerd and you wasn't going to get anybody. The nerds are on top right now. The average guys can actually get the better girls right now. The world is upside down because typically it used to be the jocks. But look at it, the jocks are all broke. Unless you one that really knew how to manage your money and you had some people in your corner right now, you a jock, you all broke. Too many stories of athletes right now losing bread. They just broke. Just broke. The nerds, the tech guys, the guys who historically nobody really wanted to deal with or mess with, they in. And the guys, I'm telling you, the guys who were like the normal guys, the blue collar guys, listen, if you're a blue collar guy, bro, you're winning. Did you not know that plumbers, electricians coming in at 6 figures? Yeah. 6 figures. And the ones who had the 4-year degree that went and they just even went down to get their masters, they still struggling. They trying to find themselves. They believe a lie. They believe a lie. They believe a lie, bro. Believe it. Believe it.